you guys are always giving out month after month, millions and millions of dollars of hourly contracts to these engineering firms.
Hey, I'm Jason Rockman with Les Montréalistes. We are here at 5600 Hochelaga Boulevard, and this is the home of the Association of Scientists and Engineers in Montreal. We're going to talk with the president of the association, Giselle Gesuale. She's going to give us some information on some stuff they've uncovered with some questionable spending when it comes to engineering contracts. Let's get some information from her on Les Montréalistes. All right, I'm here with Gisella. We are at 5600 Hochelaga, and your office is downstairs. You are, and I'm going to read this because I want to get this right because the title is important. You're the president of the Association des scientifiques et ingénieurs de Montréal. So I think a lot of people would hear that title and they would be, sounds impressive, but what do you do? So tell me a little bit about how you started in this field and what you do exactly.
Okay, so the nice thing about our name is that we can translate it to English. So Association of Scientists and Engineers of Montreal.
There you go.
So that's exactly what we are. We're a group of about 600 members. We represent engineers, which covers about 575 members.
Okay.
And then the rest of the members are chemists, like myself, I'm a chemist, surveyors, en géomètre, and medical veterinarians. Those take care of the biodome.
Okay. So we're everyone, when they think about Montreal, there's always, we love our city, but we have problems. We have issues. Whether it be people say, there's too much construction, whether people say our roads are bad, whatever the reasons are, there's this love-hate thing about Montreal. Being a lifelong Montrealer, I understand it. I defend my city, forever. I'm a card-carrying, I hate Toronto kind of guy. Like, I love Montreal. But there are things in Montreal that are very frustrating. And one of the things for me has always been, the amount of construction. And I know, from what I understand, being in an area where we have so much weather and, we have restrictions and how much time we can work, we're really under the gun to get stuff done while we can get stuff done. So I know that's one of the issues. But there's another issue that just came out recently that, you've been talking about, and I think you're at the forefront of finding out that we've been paying a lot too much when it comes to engineering contracts. So can you explain that and maybe lay that out so people that might not understand exactly what that means, what it means?
Okay, well, the thing is that when we do a project, like
right.
you say, the roads, or we have to change the underneath the infrastructures of the water system and so forth, there needs to be like plans, and plans, I mean, like, not like a plan, like plan de vie, as we say in French. There needs to be a plan, there needs to be construction plan, there needs to be an organization of the project. Then once the work needs to be done, you need to also watch over it, as they say in French, surveillance. Mm-hmm. So in the past, the city did a lot of its work with its internal engineering.
Right.
So they were responsible for doing the plan de vie, for doing the plans, for watching over the work. Then as the years went by, which is what we noticed, is that they relied more on external companies, so the external engineering firms.
What do you think the reason was for that? To switch from having their own to, is it kind of like most big companies that they'll have their own employees, and because they have their own employees, they have to pay pensions and benefits, and it's cheaper to outsource? Is that one of the reasons, you think? Because when you look across most, corporate structures now, it's like, let's get rid of employees that we have to carry with certain benefits and with certain things, and let's just hire externally because it becomes an expense. Is that? I
don't have the answer to that question,
okay.
But I did ask upper management when I met them.
Right.
And what they told me, which I found it left me with a sour taste. They said, well, it's easier for us to give a contract externally. Mm. Because when we give a contract, or when we give a contract externally, it goes on the City Capital Works program. So we paid over 20 years. So I don't have opposition challenging me saying that we're increasing our annual budget. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No.
So when they hire an engineer internally, although it'll cost less and they'll have better quality, they'll have more opposition.
Right.
Then another elected person, I'm not going to name the name, also told me, well, our needs are seasonal. I said, but how can your needs be seasonal when I see month after month, millions and millions of dollars of hourly engineering contracts being given Like these contracts are not that I'm going to give you a sidewalk, I'm going to give you a road, or I'm going to pave a road, I'm going to change your light. It's just people doing plans. All you get in the end is paper.
Right.
You don't get like any paved roads. So I told her, I said, I don't understand how you can say that. I said, you guys are always giving out month after month, millions and millions of dollars of hourly contracts to these engineering firms.
If you look at that change that happened, and now, of course, this whole thing has been uncovered that there's been so much money that's been overspent. I think we were talking briefly before, 3 times the amount of inflation.
Well, exactly. From 2012 to 2024, the hourly rate, meaning how much an engineer is paid per hour, increased by 82%.
That's crazy.
And that's not times, like 82% more.
Yeah.
Over the last 12 years, which is huge because the inflation, it's almost 3 times the inflation rate. So it's ridiculous.
So when you get all this information and it becomes public knowledge, where does it go from there?
We're looking for a change,
right?
Which is why, like last year in June, we did email, we did reach out to the BIG, which is the Bureau de l'Inspecteur Général. We did reach out to the Auditor General. We said, look, something's not right. You guys have really increased the contracts being given out. The type of contracts, which is a framework contract that we call this, compared to a fixed contract, has gone up by 93%, which is...
So a framework is when it's kind of like
it's an open bar.
Right.
So I'll give a contract 500 hours.
Right.
So anyone can go in the city. So 500 hours, we do the tender. Company A gets it. So anyone can go in the city and just, grab a few hours here and there,
right,
to get their work done. So in the end, we don't even know where these hours went.
Okay.
It's not like it's not compared to when you do like before in the past when they used to do fixed price contracts, which was like, okay, we're going to redo the sidewalk on Hochelaga between Lingerie and Lacordaire. It's going to cost you, I don't know, $100,000. That's a bit too less. Let's say $1 million, like $5 million.
Right.
100,000 is a bit not enough. $5 million. But you'll only pay that $5 million and you'll get your sidewalk. That that the external company does a mistake, that they didn't use the right mixture of cement or the right mixture of texture of material. It doesn't matter. It will cost you that $5 million. Instead, the hourly contract is an open bar.
Right. And I guess with the other way, there's some accountability too. Like,
exactly,
this is how much we're giving you. The buck stops here, so get it done for that. When you leave it open like that, there's just so much room for error and error in the sense that maybe not error is the wrong word. There's a lot of room for abuse.
I don't know if it's abuse or error, but my members have noticed an increase in errors that they have to correct.
Right.
Over the past couple of years. Like it's really exponentially increased. They feel that the quality of engineers that are being given to work on the projects of the city are the ones with less experience. Maybe they're juniors. The juniors means that you just came out of university, you have a couple of years of experience, or the 5 to 10 year ones, which is the medium engineers, not the seniors. The seniors are the ones that are being work on this project. These engineers, when they come, they don't know the city, they don't understand the infrastructure, they don't have the history like my members.
Right.
So we have to first begin by training them. But who's paying? The taxpayers are paying for us to train them.
Right.
And then sometimes midway through the contract, they'll switch up the engineer. They'll say, oh, we're going to change him, we're going to put someone else.
How do you think they could make it better?
I think the way they can make it better is that they have to come back to the fixed contracts.
Right.
Also, have confidence in the internal people, like the reoccurring contracts. Why are we giving them to the external companies?
Right.
The reoccurring contracts should be done internally. It'll cost one less and we'll have a better quality.
I mean, it seems like it would make perfect sense just to do it that way. So you got to wonder, why is it not being done that way?
That's the $1 million question.
Right.
Why is it not being done that way? We don't understand. Even La Commission Charbonneau, the Charbonneau Commission said it. You have to, bring more work internally to avoid collusion or corruption, to make sure you're getting the best for your buck. Even the Leonard report said it. But the city, contrary to other cities, just took a different path, took the opposite path.
Do you think if there was maybe an outreach to find new engineers and to bring them into your program or into your association, that could be something that could be
But there has to be a desire too for
Right.
the problem is that I don't think upper management has that vision right now.
Right.
They don't, either they're ignorant or they're not understanding, but they don't realize that right now our $1 is not going the whole length.
Yeah.
Like the Montrealers are not getting their money, like their buck, like their work, like their money worth for that $1. And I've met with them, I've spoken to them. I spent I never spent so much time as I did in the last year at L'Hôtel de Ville City Hall. I think I stepped in once before. I've been there almost every week.
Right.
Trying to advocate and maybe let them know. Like some of the elected people, they probably don't even realize that every month they're approving, $10 million contracts for hourly engineers. I'm not giving you anything but paper or a plan. Like, just want to make sure that's clear. You're not getting a sidewalk. That's another phase.
Do you think that's one of the reasons why we see so many projects that are started and is stalled?
Well, a lot of the projects are done externally. So, like I said, the people working on their project don't have the same passion as the workers or the same attachment. So they probably just I feel like Montreal comes second when we're faced with these engineering companies.
And it's nuts because if you were to speak to most Montrealers, I think everybody just wants things done right. And, of course you have to, there will always be a little bit of room for error and there'll be some wiggle room. But I think the common things that we find out when we speak to people that are frustrated about things in any capacity in the city is there's always somebody at the top that's not listening or that's disconnected. There's a disconnect between the people that are making the decisions and the people that are on the ground actually seeing what's getting done. And that's the common thing. And I think that's the common thing with most, whenever you get an issue that's at ground level versus, this whole bureaucracy that you got to run it up the ladder, there's somebody at the top that's not understanding. And you've got to listen to the people that are on the ground that are like, people like you that are uncovering these things going, guys, like we could make this better. It always makes me wonder, why wouldn't they listen? Why wouldn't they want it to be smoother? And that's, again, you're talking about the $1 million question. That's another question. You say to yourself, is something going on? Is somebody up there making a little bit too much extra that they don't want this to change because it's a profitable thing for them?
I don't know. I've asked myself that same question. All I know is that it's not logical, like you said.
Yeah.
That, if I think on one contract, I think it was in the study of Iris, on one contract, we paid, as Montreal paid 41% more on the hourly rate than Quebec City. But they're just like 2-3 hours
they're not far.
away. Like, it's not like, and it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense why the city upper management, or I don't know who's making the decision, doesn't understand that, we're working. Like, you have internal people that can do a better job. If you invest internally, it'll cost you less.
Right.
I think after the Charbonneau Commission, I read it somewhere in an article that the Quebec City, the Ministère de Transport, the transport minister, actually for 1 year decided to do things internally. And he saved, I think, $20 million.
So why wouldn't people just follow that model?
And even, I think, Mr. Pratt, in his study, he goes, for 2024, Montreal minimally paid $20 million too much.
That's crazy.
For hourly, like, once again, I repeat, it's just hourly, it's manpower. It's not like you're not getting a sidewalk, you're just getting...
Yeah, you're just getting a bunch
of plan, or like that's it, or someone watching over.
And then you got to get the people. And so when you look over the engineers, but when it comes to the actual people that are doing the work, is there an association that looks after that as well?
Well, no. Normally, it's the engineers internally that would do the surveillance.
Right.
But a lot of the time, the city now even outskirts that, which we find a bit odd. We've seen cases where the person watching their work is the actual company. Like, the actual company that did the plan externally is the actual company that will be watching over their work.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would you do that at your house? I don't know. If you made someone do the plans, would you have them watch over your work? Like, if there's a mistake or something, they're not going to flag you. They're not going to tell you if there's something wrong.
No, you need a
neutral person.
You need an objective third party going, wait a minute, I know you want to push that through, but listen, I did renovations in my place. We had somebody that wanted to do something, their way. And now we live with it because they wanted a shortcut. So I understand that at a very small level. I can imagine what it's like when you see a road and you're like, wait a minute, why is that? There's on ramps here. Everything that they did around Angrignon. Sometimes when I get onto Angrignon going west to go towards Dorval, I say to myself, why is this bottleneck here? Like, who designed that? Like, why is it so? It's
probably an external company.
Right, exactly.
That was working on an hourly rate. So for them, it's more beneficial maybe to charge more hours. Take Place Montréal.
Right.
There was 3 external companies, no internal engineer. The problems just started. My internal engineers have told me, Gisella, you'll see there's other problems. They've already flagged me on them.
Yeah.
But there was no internal engineer. L'Hôtel de Ville, when they redid it, there was a lot of problems, a lot of over budgeting, a lot of issues. No internal engineer watching over, just external companies.
Can you tell me about a project that was done with internal engineers that went smoothly and that within budget, like one that you were proud of?
Well, I know that there's a section, now I don't remember, on St. Catherine, where they actually had to do it internally because there was nobody who could have done it externally.
Are you talking about the paving like the Unistone and all that?
Yeah, on St. Catherine Street.
It's beautiful. It looks great.
No,
I mean, right before F1, it was blocked off again. I don't know what was going on.
No.
But when it was all said and done and it was gone, everything was gone and it was like just through traffic and
no, but they had to do it internally. The way the person explained it to me was, some of the engineers explained to me was that they had to do it internally because the external companies weren't able to, or they couldn't do it within a certain amount of time. And the city even said, if you guys do it well, and you do it properly, and you do it within budget, we'll give you the whole St. Catherine, because there was Peel that needs to be done another. So they did it well. They did it under budget.
Yeah.
They did it efficiently with quality, no hiccups.
Yeah.
And they still gave it was a $50 million contract that they just give to do for over 9 years to do the other part of St. Catherine externally. So $58 million is a lot of money.
That's insane. I know that one of the big things that the borough that I'm in the Southwest, one of the big things that we were dealing with was the water, the lead water, that changing all the water.
The lead.
So my street was done. It was done really, really efficiently. It was quick, but then the street, you figured it was just going to go in a grid, like the next street. And then someone 2 streets over from me told me they're not going to do my street for 3 years. So how do they determine something like that in terms of like which way they're going to go?
I think it just has to do with the manpower and availability. I'm pretty sure this contract is also given externally.
Right.
So probably, I don't know if you, like off the bat, if you ask me the question, I think that there was a lot of, pressure for the city to do action. So they did it, and now they're slowing it down a bit, but it needs to get done quickly. Like it's very important. Yeah.
And you look at it and you're like, how do they plan this? But I mean, when it was done great. It was
okay, but she has no problem planning her bike paths already planned. Like, I don't want to be mean.
No, listen. You're right.
Between lead pipes and bike paths,
I think.
Can we please fix the lead pipes?
Yeah, I think that's a little bit more.
People's health at risk.
100%. And our waterways fixed. It's done. My friend who's 2 streets over, they're like, well, we have unlimited Brita filters for you. And to me, that's like, how do you?
But still, once you know that you have this, once you know that you have this, it plays on you. Like, even if you have these Brita filters.
No, of course, it's in you. It's in your head.
But sometimes I wonder where her priorities are. Like,
it's again, it comes back to that saying, that $1 million question. She has said that she's going to be stepping away. So, I think one of the frustrating things is that when you see changes in administration, but you have people like you who are still doing your jobs, and I imagine there's a whole new learning curve when a new administration comes in. You got to,
for sure. The elections, we're aware. The elections are coming in November. We just hope that the person who comes in will be someone who will welcome more what we're trying to say, welcome more what the conclusions of Iris said, welcome more with the fact that invest internally so we can get quality and, so the Montrealers get their money for their buck. We just hope that it's someone that will be open to that and have the courage, because it takes courage to move away when you're giving so many contracts. Externally, it takes courage to move back to internally.
Yeah.
I think Project Montreal had said it in the beginning, when they were in oppositions in the beginning of 2013 or 14, one of the Project Montreal people in one of the Conseil Municipal, one of the council meetings said in 2013-14, we're not here to make the external companies make profit. We're here to serve the Montrealers, so we need to invest internally.
Right.
So they had said that as an opposition team, as an opposition party, maybe 10 years ago, and now they're in power and they're doing the total opposite. So.
I think it's very easy to say things when you're trying to get in, but I think once you're there, you might start to realize that things run a certain way and it takes a little bit longer to change it. So that's a classic political.
No, exactly. But I'm just, nonetheless, like, the commission, the Charbonneau Commission said it, the Arnardo said it, other cities like City of Quebec took it seriously. They only give, I think, one or two, we looked at it over 1 year, and we noticed that they give 1 or 2 contracts that are framework contracts. The rest are all fixed contracts.
Do you ever miss just being a chemist?
Sometimes, I'll be honest. I loved my job. I loved being a chemist. I loved my job. But I felt that the time had come for me to step up to the plate, because I needed to get done. I was hearing things, I was seeing things, and I'm like, it was like not a calling, but I needed to step up to the plate and make sure that at least I try to make people realize what's going on. Maybe hope that upper management will understand and accept what we're saying and, opt for a change. And I felt that I had to do it. Like, it needed to be done. I was like you, born in Montreal.
Right.
So I'm a Montrealer.
Yeah.
I'm a taxpayer. I see my taxes every year. I would like them to be well spent.
100%.
And right now, they're not well spent.
Is your dad still with you?
Yes, of course.
He must be proud of you.
Yes. Sometimes he's like, I don't understand what you were thinking. We're good in your lab, but he understands, because he's a bit like me. He knows.
Yeah.
Like
you must be proud.
Like you need to. Sometimes it takes people to make change. I have a very good team behind me that pulls out a lot of information. My members like to talk to me. We did a lot of reflection tables. They even told me, Gisella, it doesn't make sense. We pay them so much, and I have to correct them and fight for them to accept the corrections.
Yeah.
He goes, if we wouldn't notice these corrections, it would be like ridiculous what we would see out there.
It's crazy. Well, thanks for fighting the good fight, and thanks for trying to help taxpayers like us see where their money goes. And long live Montreal. I'm going to stay here. I'm leaving here in a box.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that was a great conversation with Gisella, and thank God we have people like her fighting for all of us that aren't in the rooms that she's in, where the decisions are being made. And you can help a decision being made. Vote, especially at a municipal level. A lot of us don't even think about municipal elections, but they're very important. So let's make a difference. Let's get out there and have our voices heard so we can make sure that things are being done the right way.